What's up, guys, and welcome to another player analysis. Player analysis is coming back to the channel here on J&O United.
I think I'd be better off all alone.
So, guys, Rudy Gestede. Okay, guys, so Rudy Gestede. Okay, guys, so Rudy Gestede has moved to Middlesbrough for an undisclosed fee in the January transfer window, and now we're going to have a look and see if there is any reason that you should be considering him as your third cheap striker in the Fantasy Premier League. But before we get into that, if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe. We're bringing you as much Fantasy Premier League content as possible, and during the January transfer window we will be looking at all the big transfers and seeing if they will have any effect on your standings in the Fantasy Premier League. In the comments down below, I'm looking for ideas for FPL versus. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know what that is. Just put in the comments down below which two players you want me to compare to see which one should be in your Fantasy Premier League side. Now, Rudy Gestede has been in the Premier League before for Aston Villa, but when he was in the Premier League, he was playing for a side that were destined for relegation. Aston Villa were shocking last year, and despite that, he still had patches where he seemed like a good Fantasy Premier League prospect. That is why we're looking at him today, and how we do it on player analysis is we look at each season that he has played recently and see if there's any potential for him to be getting those Fantasy Premier League points. Now, me personally, I'm not going to lie, I doubt it very highly that I will jump on this bandwagon very early. I'm going to have to see something from him to actually consider putting him in my side. However, in the 2016-2017 season, he has had 18 appearances in total. 10 of those have been starts, so he's not a permanent starter for the Aston Villa side, which doesn't bode well when Middlesbrough sign him, but I suppose they're a bit lacking in that striker position. He has scored 4 goals this season and he has got 1 assist, having an average shots per game of 1.3 and an average rating of 6.8. So nothing to write home about, and that is in the Championship. In the 2015-2016 season, the season he was in the Premiership, we have a bit more stats, especially fantasy football related. He had 32 appearances in total. He started 14 games, however, so he wasn't a first team player in Aston Villa's side in the Premier League either. He scored 5 goals, 3 of which were headed goals. Goal attempts, he had 61 attempts on goal, 57 of them were from inside the box, so all of his threat comes from inside the box. Headed goal attempts, he had 31 headed attempts on goal with 18 shots on target, giving him a minutes per chance of 29.8 minutes. He got 2 assists and created 15 chances for his teammates. That gave him a goal involvement ratio of 35% when he was on the pitch, and penalty area touches he had 189. However, you've got to understand that he didn't always start and Aston Villa didn't score that many goals. But the reason there was so much hype around him, especially when he went through his purple patches in the Premier League, was because in the 2014-2015 season, when he played for Blackburn Rovers, he had 39 appearances, 31 starts and scored 20 goals and got 4 assists, with a shots per game of 3.1 and an average rating of 7.58. So there was reason to believe at the time that he could be a good striker in the Premier League. However, another interesting stat to take into account is the team with the most crosses in the Premier League for the last game week was Middlesbrough, who got 40 crosses in one game. In the entire season, Middlesbrough do also have 391 crosses attempted, with a success rate of 85, giving them a 21.7% cross completion rate. So there is the chance that maybe Middlesbrough are going to start changing their tactics and trying to play to Rudy Gestede's strengths and utilise the player they have signed. Now, it is one of those things where you have to take everything with a grain of salt stats wise. That Blackburn season, we don't know how Blackburn played specifically. It wouldn't have been in the top leagues, and he only really played for Aston Villa, who aren't the best side when they're in the Premier League. So it's definitely something to monitor. I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, come on J&O, there's no chance he's going to be my third cheap striker. But you have to look at the price he comes in at and Also, keep an eye on the fixtures, because he did go through purple patches where he was getting his head on everything and scoring goals. And if you take advantage of those purple patches, say like you take advantage of Oliver Giroud over the Christmas period, or Matty Phillips, those are points that other people might not necessarily pick up. And to get to the highest rankings, sometimes you have to take a punt. Anyway guys, let me know in the comments down below if you're going to even consider Rudy Gestede in your teams for the rest of this Fantasy Premier League season. Also, make sure to smash a like and leave any FPL versus ideas in the comments down below. I've been JNO, you guys have been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.